Yeah. All right. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey.
It's Shit Volcano Part 2.
It is. Well, I mean, we are sort of like working out because that would also be because they would be like working the hole there, like trying to clean it. So like reaming.
Yeah.
And they'd have to ream for an exceptionally long time sometimes.
Yeah, you're just trying to make sure it's nice and smooth when it comes out. So yeah.
Because sometimes it didn't.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to avoid.
Right. And that's when you said like tugging on it. I'm like, why do I remember this?
Oh yeah, they're definitely pulling and they're seeing the weight and it's just like okay, stop. All right, back down.
Oh, okay.
And they just pull again and like stop. Okay, all right. Because they're like, all right, maybe it's gonna, and they're just hoping that it pops.
Right.
And I was on one rig one time when they did pop and the rig just went like, whoa,
shit.
Because everything just came loose at once and they had like 270,000 pounds of force.
Jesus Christ.
It was serious.
Did anything get damaged from that?
No, it just popped loose off of whatever.
Amazing how much that stuff can take.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But we weren't using it again. Well, once you do that, you're not. It goes to the shop.
Right.
No. You're right. I don't know if it broke. I did not touch this shit.
Right.
We threw that sucker out of spec. So.
Well, not you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you're not the one that has to answer for that.
No.
Yeah.
It's coming out of your check, son.
It's coming out of a lot of checks. Well, each one of those things was $1 million, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What was $1 million?
One part of tool.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
part of
yeah,
our tool. More than that way, but I saw the whole Crowdstrike thing.
Yes.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, you know all about that. Yeah.
Crowdstrike is our security tool.
Well, everybody uses it, right?
A ton. It's a really, really good tool. An endpoints monitor, so it's a sensor in. So if you have a company that has 20,000 endpoints, so wherever users are there, all this kind of stuff, they might have like 15,000 sensors. There's some that don't need sensors, or they're just like,
What does the sensor do?
that it's recording everything your thing's doing.
So it's like, recording your keystrokes.
Not necessarily keystrokes, but like that. It logs your activity, so it says you ran this program, which ran this program, this program.
Okay,
this program.
I gotcha.
You went to the internet here. Here's a website. Here's a domain. Here's this.
So it's Pornhub.
It just records everything you can imagine.
So that's a sensor.
That's their sensor.
Okay.
So they pushed something to try and change the power usage of it without testing it. Which is like step one of every deployment.
I'm pretty sure that's in the flow chart.
It is definitely in the flow chart. So like all the memes are of like some intern being like,
So is that what
I wonder what's this button
where
does.
he's like I got hired. It's like I installed an update. We're gonna let it run over lunch. He's like, I got fired. This is bullshit.
Yeah. So
It's my first day.
all that. So yeah, they just pushed it into production.
That's how that fucked up.
And so what actually did it fuck up?
It shut down all the sensors. So Windows is using that sensor, so it would shut that down because it thought that it was tampering with the sensor, so it was stopping the process.
So they're just stopping the OSs of all these.
Oh, so
endpoints.
it was basically like false positive.
Yeah, it saw something bad was
okay,
happening,
okay,
and so it's like shut it down. And so, depending on how severe it was or which program turned on the sensor and all that kind of stuff, depending on how bad it was. So some people got blue screen of death.
I can see why airlines got fucked on that.
It was shutting down radar.
Oh, really? For the FAA?
So it was fucking just all this shit up. And so I'm like, well, Crowdstrike's dead. Like, you're gonna get sued.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. And then I saw a thing that said, yeah, in every contract they have, it says
They do.
They can only get paid returned what's been paid to them.
Right.
Right, yeah. They're
So they
trying to
can't-
limit. They try and do that. You try and limit your own liability, but there's actually ways around that if it's gross negligence. So, yeah, there are. So, like, you shut down the fucking FAA, bro.
Oh, there are so many memes. There was like, this hacker is just like, I spent 18,000 years of my life trying to get into this. I just needed to get a job there.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fuck, I could have done it legally.
That's hilarious.
It was, it's funny. I remember there was another guy who posted a story about this. He, I can't remember where it said he went, but he got a job. They're like, this was being told from a person that worked at that company, right? So this new guy, it's like he just got a job at our company, right? So he jumps in there and, uh-oh.
Hang on.
Oh,
Continue story.
Oh, well, he said he came in here. He got a job at our company. So in the first week, actually, like in the first couple of days, he got into the program, changed like 4 lines of code, and then quit because he's a user of that shit. So he got a job to fix the code that was busted.
What?
And quit.
Wait a minute, I don't.
Damn!
I'm
Like,
not
so
tracking.
he's a gamer or something like
So
that. and he-
yeah. I don't. It was an application. It was something like that. But yeah. So he's a user of this application. He got a job at that company, right? Went in there, fixed like 4 lines of code.
Oh, I see. I
And
got
then
you now.
quit.
Yeah, I got you now. He just wanted, let me do my own hot fix here.
Right.
Yeah. got
Right.
it.
You jackwagons are never gonna fix
You're
this.
gonna
So
fix this, yeah. So why can't I copy my character in Diablo, man?
wow, that is some serious. That's impressive.
Fixing item dupes. Enough of this shit.
So yeah, my Friday was nonstop. I mean, most of the tickets weren't bad because it was all alerts saying somebody's tampering with this sensor. It's like, you are. Stop it. So it was just thousands and thousands of these tickets coming up that we all had to keep closing.
Like, this is the end of the fucking world. Yeah.
But the worst thing is if you just see that alert and I know they ended up doing it, they just auto close the living hell out of them all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And if there actually is something out there,
It's gone.
it's you can tamper with it.
If it's a big deal, you'll put in another ticket.
So
That's fine. Yeah.
that's actually, that is incredibly helpful to know, Will. That's
but all the news reports kept like throwing. It was like Crowdstrike says that Microsoft is
of course you're gonna try and throw the
It's like,
yeah.
This is 100% you.
wait a second. Yeah, because I mean, that is not a Microsoft product.
No. Microsoft would rather everyone just use Defender. It's like, screw it.
Oh yeah. See, that's why we didn't get hit because that's all that we use.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. And I had no problems on my machine. My brother told me that years ago. He was like, "Don't ever waste your money on any of this shit."
Yeah, Defender's
He's like,
solid.
Defender's way better than all of them, and they're on top of it way faster. So yeah.
And you're using Windows. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my mom, the McAfee keeps sending me things. Should I sign up for it? Like, no, Mom.
Well, I get that Norton says that they're charging my card.
Oh, I get that all the time, man. That's just a scam.
Oh yeah, I called them,
Oh, really?
and they're just like, oh, and they start going through their spiel, and I'm like, oh, okay. And there's like, yeah, go ahead and tell me what this is. Is like, well, you have it on your system, right? It's populated on your window. You don't need that key. What's this other one that? He's like, no, we need you to tell me. And I'm like, well, if you've taken my order, it's all in there. So.
Yeah, you should know what it
And
is.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep going with this until.
So I took a little cue out of your book, but I got tired of it because I kept getting calls. So, but you answer the phone, it said scam likely. It's like scammer hotline. So, how would you like to rethink your life today? So, excuse me. So, Do you need me to repeat myself? So, let's take the first step in your journey towards a clean living, buddy.
I have not seen William get a scam likely call.
My daughter gets them all the time.
Really?
She's a little girl, and they know she's a little girl. So, yeah. So.
Because I have not heard him say,
cool.
hello, Mr. Likely?
Yeah,
I have not heard him say that in a long time.
Well, you used to be there when I'd mess with these people that would call.
I remember.
Yeah. I remember one time in my garage, and you were like hanging out, and I was like, "Really? Which car's warranty is expired?"
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
Like, I got a few. Which one is it?
Which one is it? Yeah.
Can I get it for all of them?
Well, that's why you were laughing, because I was playing it up like I was so concerned.
Right, yeah, you were, yeah. I do remember this.
It is.
It is. It's like, well, what if something happens to my car and I don't have it warranted now? So,
How many days do I have left?
should I not drive this car for a while?
That was the thing. Is like
You gotta tell me which one it is.
the dude should have known that we were fucking around, because like you were laughing in the background, and I was like putting my hand over. It was like it's like we were ordering like 10,000.
Right, yeah.
To Greg's house. Yeah, I was like, you should just hang up, dude.
Yeah, just let him go, man. You're not gonna reel him in.
Not helping your quota.
Well, there's all those YouTube channels where guys do that professionally now, where they'll just like basically tard wrangle,
Yeah.
for like hours, using voice changing machines and fake like bank accounts and all kinds of stuff. It's hilarious. So, they like to tease them as like, well, do you take the Bitcoins? Because I think I got quite a few of those. And
I don't trust the banks anymore.
No, it's just like old grandma, my son.
How does grandma?
I think that's the whole point. Yeah, well, it's a scam where they're scamming the scammer, and so he's just playing it up.
Okay.
As, grandma's got 500 Bitcoins. So, well, I bought these a long time ago, and I guess you could have one or two. And you can just hear him kind of like, yes.
I will take one.
Yes.
Can I call you on my private line, please?
Well, they'll do that. They'll be like, well, you got to write me a love poem. Or you got to sing me a song. Do you know the Elvis? It's hilarious, man. It's just as good. They pop those out about once a week. They're just a good, fun Saturday watch.
All right, that does sound amusing.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned spending time with your kids. Not in a scary way, but in terms of when you ask, it's like, what are you watching? The blanket answer of YouTube is just not acceptable. It's not.
My daughter says that all the time.
Stuff.
Yeah. But you're watching YouTube.
Well, it's hard to explain it when they watch the shorts. Because it goes through so many things that it's just like, YouTube.
Okay, but understand, like, from us, would you have accepted an answer? It's like, what are you watching? TV. You'd be like, you're fucking with me. Stop being a jerk.
Well, ours are going to be half-hour-long shows.
Yeah,
You're
that's
saying
true.
a show.
Yeah.
Like, they can't even say a topic that it's on.
Depends on what it is.
Right. I mean, if they're caught in a loop of something, then yeah. But I've watched it and like swipe through and watch stuff, and it's just like all over the place. Like, there's no rhyme or reason what's coming up next, and it's just like,
I cannot imagine like going to the movies, like on a date with somebody like this that's just been watching this shit.
But they've both been doing it.
Oh, you're both your kids?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if the kid is going on a date,
boring.
She went on a date.
Right.
Well, that's when you put your phone in phone jail, man. So, yeah.
Like, it just doesn't seem like it would suit you at all to sit down and watch, 2.5 hours of Paranormal Activity 9. It just doesn't seem like it would get your brain going at all. It seems like it would be so boring.
William watches regular movies some.
Does he?
There's lots of old ones on there too. So,
all right. Well, that's true. Yeah,
lots of anime.
There's a lot more shit on there than there used to be.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So he does have some structure to it.
I
don't know if it really has
usually-
TV series on it though.
No, we watch it on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But he actually gets excited to watch the regular stuff
All right.
here and there and all that kind of thing.
Does he watch it on his phone though, or?
Not with me.
Yeah. Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, he does not. He has a TV in his room. He has not turned on in.
Yeah. See, my daughter doesn't have a TV in her room, but she does cast it to the big TV in our
I
living
don't
room.
understand not having it on the big screen.
But she doesn't watch shorts, so like, I'll doom scroll on shorts for like an hour. So, but that's totally on my phone because it's like instantaneous. Fuck this. Oh, this guy's funny. You know, fuck this. Who is this? You know, so, yeah. It's like that looks like a shark. You know?
I've watched some. I mean, some of them are pretty cool. Like there's one dude that does all these weird, like describes these medical procedures and stuff like that, and they have these cool little like 3D animations that go with it.
Sure.
And I'm like, damn, that's cool. Like he broke down how like this guy compound fractured his leg, and they show like
Was this a short? Or
yeah, it's short. It wraps up the whole thing in like a minute or minute and a half is the max.
Yeah, I think it's either getting longer now or they're almost like mini videos because you can get, well, they might still be videos, but they're in the vertical format. So yeah,
right.
but like the thing that I get out of shorts is just it's like going to a comedy club and just having people just bang out jokes, you know. So I mean, because it's like America's Funniest Home Videos plus, you know, the Comedy Cellar
yeah.
plus,
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah, I can
National
see that.
Lampoon plus, like, you know, I mean, there's some shit on there that's just dumb. So, you know, but then there's like, oh, the guy got wrecked on that motorcycle, you know, kind of thing.
Right. Okay, so again, like a comedy set, right? That is one person's like narrative journey through jokes, right?
Yeah, there's no narrative on.
But this is what I'm saying. Is like, so if you're doing that, that's basically like if you can't. That would be like if the comedians just like ran up there, told one joke, and then the next guy came on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So it's like completely. I mean, it'll learn you a little bit after a while. Like mine knows that I'll watch the comedy things that make me laugh. Okay, so you know, and so it kind of, you know, mine's almost all comedy now, or at least snarky, you know, guys doing little like reviews and stuff, you know, or whatnot. But it is completely random. It's like having a deck of cards full of shit that you like, and just randomly drawing one off the top, and who knows what it is. So,
well, be fair. Do you find that has it impacted your patience to watch other?
no, these are two different modes for me.
Because it's definitely gotten to mine.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, man. But I listen to like 3-hour podcasts all the time. So, you know, like,
We still watch movies and stuff, and I watch as much like probably not as much as your kid, but I mean I watch a lot of like anime and stuff like that. So I mean it's still structured, but like if I'm on the computer, right, I can't sit still.
oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't help you with that.
yeah,
I don't have a problem with that, man. I played with my trains for like 4 hours today. On my computer, yeah. That was fine.
Yeah, I constantly like if I'm in front of the computer, it's like just my brain just like it's just like open this, you know, do this. I can sit down and watch something, and I can actually do that, but I have to commit to that. I have to get away from the computer where it's just so much like stuff going on.
Yeah, but I don't watch YouTube on my computer. So
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
I watch it on the TV.
I watch it on the TV, or I watch it.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch shorts on my TV because they suck.
Well,
Okay, you know, it's like you have this ginormous TV and it's this little tiny panel in the middle
it's
of it.
designed for a phone. Man.
Yeah, and I mean, all I have is the Amazon Fire Stick, and so swiping is like, you know, press button, hold for 10 seconds, and it swipes. It's dumb. So no, this is like literally me doom scrolling on my phone when I'm just like if I'm in my kitchen, I'm waiting for water to boil. Ha 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 ha, swipe. Ha ha ha, ha, swipe. You know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So that's what I use it for. So, or sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'll just start, you know, finding funny things on there.
No.
You watch stuff right before bed.
No, I listen to stuff before I go to bed. So I got these really nice new earbuds So finally got some wireless, some Bluetooth ones for the first time ever.
I know
So-
you don't watch anything before bed.
Before you go to bed?
Well, you mean like on the phone?
Do you even have a TV in your room?
No.
Then yeah.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I don't either.
No, but I mean, I will. I'm trying not to, like, watch things on the phone before going to sleep.
I'll do it. I'll play on my phone right before going to bed, so I don't really care.
Well, like actual games?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Yeah,
really
I couldn't
care.
do that, man.
I'll watch stuff right before bed. I'll do game. I don't really care. I just literally turn it off, roll down on the pillow, and sleep.
No, that's when I listen to my books, or I'll find, I've got so many podcasts that, like, every week I'm way behind on them, so
Gotcha.
I will fall asleep to them if they're good, and I will pick them up the next day. Otherwise, they're gonzo.
Listen to podcasts?
Listen to something because he has trouble falling asleep, and so he tries to leave his phone on to the YouTube and just put it face down and listen to it. I wonder if I can listen to a podcast.
If you want him to sleep,
There are.
put the phone in the kitchen.
He doesn't sleep.
No, I've known people like that. They need a little bit of white noise.
Yeah.
So
White noise is different, but
there are apps, and then there are, like, entire channels on YouTube that are nothing but, like, thunderstorms. That, I mean, if I'm having trouble sleep, I turn that shit on and I'm out.
Well, he does what I do. Before I used to, whenever I'd close my eyes, if nothing was on, I couldn't get my head to stop.
yeah, but that's the thing is all right. I hate to reference the train again, but I'm going to. Okay, the thing is when you go from what's a normal speed for a train? One of the ones you've run.
40, 50 miles an hour.
Okay, 40, 50 miles an hour, and how much weight does it carry?
A billion.
A
tons.
lot. Like 33,000 tons.
Okay, so
We're talking like ocean liner size weight.
all right. So I would ask you, what is the minimum distance that you need to come to a complete stop?
About a mile.
Okay, that's the thing is, so if you're rolling with that kind of tonnage, right, which is what your attention span is doing, if you do that and then go to sleep, right, and just go to sleep, your brain is still trying to slow down, right? And so if you close your eyes and basically, like, let that go, it's still going. Even if you stopped right then and there, hit the full brakes, it's going to take a mile for it to actually come to a stop, right? Which is why before you start going to bed, right, like an hour or 2 hours ahead of time, you have to start slowing the brain down.
Mm-hmm.
Stop introducing it to new stimulation. Stop, like, this is the stuff where it's like, make sure you're not using stuff that has the blue light on it. So you're not supposed to be playing, like, video games right before bed. You're not supposed to be watching TV, like, right before bed. That's how you, like, close it down so that your brain is ready to go to sleep. And once that's done, phone goes in the kitchen or stays outside the room because,
Oh, my phone's always on my nightstand. Yeah.
well, if you're okay with it,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. But if you're having problems,
No.
right, because what happens is if you can't sleep, what do? You pick this up and you look at it and you start the thing going again.
No, when my brain was going like what Williams does, I would need to turn on a show that I've seen before
Right.
Yeah.
and just
Right.
let that play.
Exactly. What are you doing right there? You're making it so that your brain isn't, like, processing.
But it needs to be hearing something so I'm not thinking.
Absolutely. But that's not that's I get what you're doing, and that's why when I was younger, I've seen RoboCop like 600 times,
You
right?
fell asleep to it every night?
Well,
Yeah, no.
Charlie's movie was Raiders for the Lost Ark, right? Because I've seen it, I don't have to. I'm not thinking about what the next
But it
line
keeps
is.
your brain engaged enough, but not engaged. So yeah, that's what
Right, it's
Williams.
slowing to a stop.
That's why I was saying maybe a podcast would.
But podcast is asking you to process new information.
Yeah, but see, like, when I was a kid, the way that I fell asleep was I would read myself to sleep.
Yes, absolutely.
But it wouldn't be something that I'd read before.
It doesn't have to be.
When the podcast is the same way. It's just taking in new information until it's just like, okay, I'm done. And then
It depends on how engaged you get with it. Like,
Yeah.
if so, let me say it this way. Okay, there's reading, and then there's reading. There's reading that if I start reading this book, I won't stop reading it until 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Just because that's what it is. It's that captivating if you get into it. If reading, winds you up, or if you're listening to a podcast that's like funny, right? You're not gonna fall asleep.
No, this is my Dan Carlin time.
But that's what I'm saying is for a kid, you're saying to go to sleep. I want you to listen to something boring.
Yeah.
Kids don't like that.
It worked. He would listen to space stuff. Like he liked space, but it wasn't. But now he's got the phone back on, so now when I go wake him up, the phone's still...
Or audiobooks. I love audiobooks.
Still going.
So, because then you find a guy with a voice that you can sleep to. So, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, the best, again, this is the same, this is what I read straight from The Distracted Mind. This is you can read it. It's very boring, but it's very informative. About this is how you basically do big time brain damage.
Well, then I'm going to have some serious brain damage. Well, because I straight up literally do it right until I go to bed.
Well, I'm not talking about...
I've heard of that.
I don't remember the author.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's verifiable. I mean, it talks about, like... what's this? I can't remember the subtitle, but I read it. Again, it's boring. There's a lot of data in it. But yeah, it has everything to do with... it's not trying to blame anything in particular, where it's not saying like eBay is the enemy or YouTube is wrong or anything like that. It's that our brains were designed to give us like a slight hit of dopamine when you process new information, because this is how the brain would succeed. Like if you go to the watering hole, right, and you're looking for predators, it's the thing that gets you to like seek out new information at all times, right? And if you're doing that constantly, right, because it's everywhere, because it's always on your phone, right, it fries that sensor, that incentive in the brain, right? And yeah, it's something that does make it hard to sleep. It is something that makes it hard to focus, right? Stuff like that. So that's where they're saying, like, when you can, right, if you have the ability, disconnect, stay away from it, let it recharge, right?
All right.
I know. And again, I know it's difficult, but I mean, this is one of the reasons that I argue, and I'll still argue to this day. I think your office should be allowed to send you emails like, hey, late start tomorrow, or stuff like that. But I don't think, like, when you're off, I think your company should be required to let you be away from that. Like, not having to worry about that kind of stuff, or...
I think you should be allowed to, but if you want to.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, there are, like, even... We kind of have a policy about that. It's like, no no work emails after 7 p.m., blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, But some people just don't follow them because, hey, I got to get this work done, or,
No, but the problem that they have with that is, if you decide to, like, separate yourself from that and say, like, I'm not going to be part of that crowd, right? That's one of those things, like, this is, like, sort of like the anti-fraternizing rules that they have at some, like, companies and stuff like this, where by doing this, these are the ways that you can advance in the company informally, right? So if you decide that you're going to unplug, you're losing out on opportunities.
You can, right? At a lot of companies.
And that seems fucked up. In the same way, like, again, I understand where they say, like, hey, if 12 firefighters want to go to the strip club, they should. But you can also make the argument, like, if this is something where people are getting advanced by being in the boys' club, I got a tough one saying, like, well, I guess that's okay then. I don't know.
Just go find a better place to work.
Yeah, I just don't feel like people should be penalized if they're trying to do something good for their head, where it's like, no, I need to disconnect from that. I should. I shouldn't feel like I'm constantly...
It's better than it used to be. So,
well, because it was like, you will.
Well, no, there was like no options, but now, like, I mean, it's perfectly fine for me to block off schedules on my calendar where I'm like, you get the notification from me. And it's like, no, I'm not answering emails until next Friday, so you don't expect a response from me.
Totally understand.
And that's fine. That's totally fine. You know, people in my organization do that all the time.
But
so.
if your bosses are basically like, I need someone to do this outside of the hours,
Yep.
and it's like, well, Pat doesn't, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Pat's
call
not
him.
going to work here very long.
Yeah, but Jimmy will. Then
Jimmy
I'm gonna
will.
go to Jimmy, and he's gonna get pushed off.
Yeah, so.
And that seems like bullshit.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
And the work is done. The work is unless you're a doctor, right? Unless you're on an on-call, straight up on-call position, right? I feel like this should just like leave you alone.
Well, there's a lot of jobs where it's just somebody's got a man to afford. So, you know, it's not like there's X amount of work to do. There's X amount of hours to work. So, yeah. So,
But those are those specific jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's not that many of them.
Well, that's every convenience store on the planet. Gas station.
What are you talking? Yeah, they have those shifted out.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of jobs that are
That's
like
what I'm
that,
saying.
where it's just hours. So
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
put in hours. You're not putting in work. You're putting in hours.
He's saying you're off work and you're doing this.
Right.
Oh, yeah. No, you're not going to do that at a convenience store.
Right,
So, no,
right,
you
right.
punch
That's what
out,
I'm
you
saying.
go home, yeah.
There's not that many jobs where you're expected to.
No, but your higher paying, like more managerial jobs are all like that. So you don't get to go home and turn your shit off if you're in charge of the
Crisis
place.
comes up.
So there's always going to be an expectation of that on a certain level, and let alone if you were the owner of the company, just take it all the way to that.
But that's the owner. What I'm talking about there is,
I understand.
Yeah. So yes, the people at the very top of this, yes, that's something that they like to do. But I mean the layers underneath again, like there were plenty of like middle managers. I knew it's like, dude, you should not be expected to deal with the shut after hours.
Well,
That's
we
ridiculous.
have a rotating on call.
Yeah,
Right.
because you guys are hours, not work.
So if emergency comes up, there's primary and secondary.
Boom. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
If neither of them answer, they start calling people.
Right.
If I got a call, I'm answering it.
Right, but there's a procedure. There's a procedure where it's like, you shouldn't have to come into this unless it's not as though they're just gonna like, you can be on call at any time for any reason, right?
True, but if the first two people don't answer, you could always call me. I will always answer.
I understand that, but they have a procedure in place, right? You are the tertiary. Well, actually, you're not even necessarily the tertiary. You could be fifth. You could be 10th.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but there's a process.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
right.
that's a good company.
Right.
Right.
And
There are a lot of shit companies out there.
Right. That's what, and again, like if it's like a doctor's thing where it's like, hey, we don't know. It's like I know that you already put in 80 hours. We might need you for something. They know that. That is part.
That's part of being a doctor,
Right.
though. You
Right.
sign up for that when you take your MCAT.
But if you have a
Yeah.
project coming up and you don't think you'd be able to get it all done in the next day, I could easily see me doing the work that night and then going into the day.
Well, are you salary or hourly? Hour.
Salary.
Yeah, so see, there you go. That's modern day slavery. So, but that's how we all do it. Yeah,
I feel it's my duty. It's my job to complete.
because you get paid for
I do get paid for it. I mean, that doesn't happen with me, but I mean, if it did, I totally.
No, because you work for a good company that's run by smart people. So
But yeah,
but yeah. So you got like set policies in terms of promotion and fraternization and sexual harassment.
all over the place.
our policy for promotion is dumb.
What is it?
Well, there's only once a year that anybody can get promoted.
So you do an annual review, and then that's the possibility.
No, so you can get promoted.
That would make too much sense.
You can get promoted in your job.
Would that just be in salary or?
No changes. You can let. So
Why is it a promotion then?
So I could. So our annual time is May 29th. I think that's when the fiscal year ends.
Yep.
So I could already have my yearly thing. I could, and that's for promotion within the company's standards.
But that comes with no additional responsibilities.
None.
That's not a promotion.
That's your promotion.
That's what they call it, but that's not what that is. I understand.
The day after, I could get promoted within my job to the next level.
Which would come with more responsibilities?
A lot more responsibility.
Okay.
With no change in pay.
That's weird. Why do they do it that way?
I don't know.
There's got to be a reason for it.
Certainly it exists, but that doesn't mean that we're aware of it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's just sucks. I've never heard of anything like
it's
that.
the dumbest thing.
And I've dealt with a lot of companies.
Well, I can't even say, like, this is this kind of model.
Yeah, no.
Right.
This was not in the textbook.
After the first year I was there, or the second year when we first had to go, I don't know. Whatever, we were back in the office.
Yeah.
2 guys got promoted right after the reviews, and I didn't. They all thought I told them to go pound sand. That they offered me the promotion, and I told them no, because I'm not getting paid more. And I'm like, no, they just promoted them. It's like, what? I don't know what to... But yeah, they're just like, well, you obviously know what you're doing. You didn't get or you must have turned down a promotion just because you weren't going to get paid. Because I told them this process is stupid.
So they do a review on the 29th of May.
Yeah.
So here's what they're doing. They budget how much they're going to pay out for the next year.
Yes, and only a select number of people are allowed to get promoted within the company.
Yeah, that means you have a finance department and HR department that don't like each other.
There's no name for that model, though, is it?
It's called Civil War. So, I mean, it's probably somebody done fucked it up real bad one time where, like, finance says, hey, this is how much money we have left. And HR is like, oh, well, we got all these guys on promotions, so let's dish out, like, additional pay for all these people who are coming up. And it comes back to finance, and they do a reconciliation at the end. They're like, the fuck did you do?
So this is...
I don't know. That's a guess, but I have seen that happen.
That makes some sense.
No, but it sounds like
a dingus fingers.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a dog shit reconciliation, but that's the only thing that they can agree on.
I don't know. That's pure speculation, but I have seen companies do that. And so that's where you get the reverse effect of that is where you get to the end of the year and you got too much money in your budget. And so, like, go order all new office furniture. Otherwise, we don't get that next year.
Right.
I've worked in those companies, too.
That's more common, okay, because you learn to defend your shit. But if you have a situation where, like, hey, our department grew and we didn't plan for that in the beginning of the year, we had all these promotions that were due. They come in at the end of the year, and budget's like, what the fuck? You said you were going to spend this much, not this much. So,
Yeah.
So somebody probably got scorched for that. I don't know, man. But yeah, no, your company's got a good reputation. So it's being actually like pretty clean. So
it was that, and then how they let people go in the layoffs was.
How'd they do that?
You get just a random email.
Well, it's not random.
Well, I mean, it's an email.
They didn't put all your names in a hat. Did they?
It sure felt like it.
Yeah.
And then they just wouldn't tell you when it was going to be done. So
that's normal.
They did it over like weeks.
So everybody's walking around like they sort of
just checking their email every few hours to see if this random email from saying, "Hey, there's a business item that you have to attend to." It's like, what's this?
It's the kind that I need to bring empty boxes to. So I know why they do that. So because So I've done a couple RIFs, a reduction in forces, over the years, and there was like one time where I knew I had to lay off about 8 guys, and I was explicitly told that you are not allowed to do that because we need to tell these guys that because we need so many of them to work for so much longer,
right?
Before we can actually adjust down. And it's like, but this is really fucked up. I have a bunch of they know what's going on because they're not dumb, okay? They can see Bob's gone. Where's Bob go? Why did he get a box? Like, pack up all his shit and leave, So, and they like, is that happening now? What's going on? So, but like, no, that's the thing. This is one of the shitty things about being managers. You get outranked by any accountant or fucking lawyer.
That doesn't have to do
correct.
The dirty work.
Yeah. And then if you step out of line, then you're gonna lose your job because you're a lot easier to fire than those guys. So.
All right, I guess maybe there is a method to the madness.
I don't know. That's all speculation. So, but those are things.
It's a better answer than
we put all your names in the fucking hat.
Sure felt like it.
It's better when you can figure out what they're doing because there's a lot of places that either you can tell where it's clear that this is performance based,
Yeah.
It was not performance based.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is you can look at those and say like, well, I think I know. And the other one is the other one that I've seen is last one on, first one off.
Yeah,
Right.
it's unions. Unions are great for that because it's like, fuck, yeah, I don't have no. You got me beat by 2 days in seniority, so you know you're fine until you see me get axed. Then you're next, buddy.
Well, we have this weird thing called utilization.
Yeah,
where
I don't know that.
It's how much of your working hours you got to charge to clients.
Yep. That's a very DoD thing, and you're not even in DoD.
And so, as cyber people that are monitoring a SOC, you are there, and you grab stuff if stuff comes up.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you used to just charge what hours you would work on a ticket or whatever, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And they specifically said, we don't care about utilization because we get it. You're monitoring a SOC.
So theoretically, it should be 100%.
Nobody cared.
Okay.
And then the layoffs came, and they're like, we're basing it off utilization. And it's like, wait, what? You all told us. They're like, they lied to us. We can't do anything.
Did you have a senior management change at that time?
No.
Okay.
They just didn't care what senior management said.
Oh, your bosses didn't.
No, they just didn't care what our bosses said.
What? Who's
whoever the higher up?
That's what I mean. Did you have a higher up?
Yeah, there was a higher. I don't know if there was a change or not.
That
it could have.
That happens a lot where you have like your VP of operations changes, and then he takes a look at what the last guy did and said, "Well, I got to do something different now." And so, we weren't doing utilization. My God, you know. Right. So who let all these rats in here? You know,
all these guys are only working like 10% of the time.
So and he's going to go out there and try and slay dragons so that he can become not VP.
So now we have a list of hours we charge to the client, whether we do any work or not.
I was going to say that because that seems like if you're on guard duty, that should be 100%.
Right. You're monitoring the queue.
That's exactly like the DoD, though, man. Like, you have to document like your time down to like 15-minute intervals. Yeah, that's crazy. Because they're just like, oh, you're wasting taxpayer money. You know, so.
It's like you kept me here.
Okay. I can see where the rubber doesn't meet the road. I can see the intent. And I can see an argument for it, where you say like, so some dude walked in the building and he pulled everybody to the whiteboard, and he said like, I need you all to look at the board for a second. I was like, I need you to understand this word, and he scratches out the word accountability.
Accountability, right? Buddy.
And double underlines it. and then suddenly you have these kind of policies in place. It's like, who do we answer to, guys? We answer to the taxpayer, and they're demanding it.
So they belongs to Uncle Stan.
Yes,
you're gonna be flying up a cargo plane full of dog shit.
Yeah, Hong Kong. Yeah.
No, that's common. So I'm so glad I'm not a manager.
You know what? In hindsight, it's not the. I don't think it's the managers that I'm picking on. Like, I think I hate HR.
HR?
I think I do.
I've had good HR departments and I've had bad ones. So HR kind of turns into like a refuge for like people who just want to do training. And I'm using the dick quotes here. So yes, exactly.
Emphatically.
Yes. It's like, well, you know, I was the best salesman, but I don't want to go into management. So I want to be a corporate facilitator. And it's like, you're useless. So, and it's also the refuge for people who, you know, they don't like telling people, they don't like the management role of management where you have to like,
right.
You do have to beat on people every now and then. You don't have to like it, but you do have to do it. But HR, like I've worked with some people at HR are very good at this. They're like, don't worry about it, Pat, we'll take care of it. Because they're not worried about that role. So, you know, and it's very clean in that case because it's not me directly firing you. Yes. We've worked together for 10 years. What the fuck, Pat? You know, so it's like, oh, no, here comes the HR mafia. It's like Hitman himself. You know, and those are nice. But then I've worked with a bunch of HR departments where it's just like, what the fuck do you people do?
Yeah.
So
that's part of it is
the one that I have right now is fantastic. So yeah, and I've had some that are good, but Like, it seems like the bigger the company is, the more useless it gets. So,
well, this is the thing that again with the multiple companies, the bigger the worse. But I mean, this is the number one. Every other department pushes for diversity, but not HR. At least in most of the big companies, because I can count on like one hand all of the guys that I've seen in HR.
oh, I don't know.
I never see guys in HR.
Guys aren't diversity.
No, not really. You're not going to hire
cares.
a white guy as your diversity officer unless he's gay.
But that's what I'm saying. Is
So-
and the dudes that I saw in there were gay, and this was the
But
shit.
nobody's gonna fight to be like, we need more guys.
Yeah, nobody's going to fight for
I
that.
agree,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't happen, which means you have one perspective in there, and on top of that, to me, a lot of times, like HR, what they do is they take like a manager like you, they make the recommendations and then make you enforce it.
Oftentimes that comes from senior management. Like, most of the time, like, when I would fight with an incompetent HR department, it's usually like, you fucked up Bob's check again. Come on, man.
Yes.
Like, stop doing that, because he's stealing things and taking them home to make it all even Steven, man. Stop that.
Okay, he wants this
Or
to
like,
be
I
clear.
really need this guy's background check. Fucking just do his background check.
But that was never HR. That would be a separate person called payroll.
That was always HR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wherever I
So, well,
was.
somebody in there would always be designated payroll.
Payroll and HR, payroll lives in HR, so does all your well, not in every company.
No.
That's true.
A lot of times payroll was one person,
Sure.
and they were their own department.
Yeah.
Because you would never direct someone to HR for a payroll issue. You would send them directly to payroll.
Well, we do at my company, so
I have had
it's all
very
HR.
little interaction with any HR, so I don't.
There's usually not as many of them as you think, too. So unless it's a big company, the only company that I worked for that had like really weird HR policies was the railroad. So, and they had like HR guys who were union guys. They had HR people who were lawyers.
Civilians.
They had actual like lawyers. So like those guys were scary. So, and then, kind of just like you get in the diversity things. Like I had a sexual harassment thing happen. It didn't involve me, but it involved one of my bosses. And HR parachuted fucking lawyers in to wreck his shit, It's like,
Did they
so
wreck
they're
it?
beating up on his cat. Kicking over his mailbox. They did. They wrecked his shit pretty good. So... that one was weird though, man. And it was like whole floor on that building. And it was the one you did not want to go to. So
Did you just know?
you just kind of knew. Yeah. So they had like interrogation rooms.
Is this where they do the tricks where they be like
It was just like in the office where they pull you in the little fish tank with like two guys.
Yeah.
And then there's a sea of cubicles and people are like looking over. It's like,
right.
Yeah, dude.
That's their version of the bright lights. But is this the shit where they'd ask the questions like, so what should happen to the person that did this?
That's a trick question. Yeah. So, but the trick behind that, right?
Yeah. Because
Okay,
the person that's sympathetic is
Guilty.
likely.
It's like, oh, you should totally let that guy go. It's like, yeah, you did it, didn't you? So as opposed to like, you should string him up and gut him like a fish.
Y'all remember like the fucking end of Braveheart?
He's gonna pull out his rope and then, I need 2 midgets over here right now. Act this out, for the crowd. So
You know that shit where they're like dragging him out and then he goes like freedom? It's like, do that. Like,
the HR department at the bank was kind of weird too.
the HR department at the bank was the HR department at T-Mobile was a fucking shit show.
Yeah, I remember you
It was
fighting with
like,
them.
fucking,
Yeah.
like, you guys suck.
So when I worked at T Row, theirs was kind of like HR was a refuge for people who didn't actually want to do work.
That I get.
Yeah. So I've seen all kinds of different ones, man. So like and when I worked at like that shit college, our HR department was 2 people.
Right.
Yeah, one did the hiring and like the orientations, and the other one was like, she was like the compliance officer. So
slash this slash
yeah,
this.
she did a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, but she was also a battle axe, and so if you needed someone to get chewed out, she was great.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, man. That's too small of a sample.
It is, and I know that's a little bit unfair, but I also know that it's some places, like you said, it's two people. Some places it's a loose confederation of basically like 14 small countries. Yeah, just under one like Crusader banner. Yeah, it's weird.
That's the railroad's the only place where HR would make direct influence my hiring decisions, though. That's the only place I've ever been where they were like, no, you need to hire these guys. I was like, okay. So, and it wasn't diversity hires either. So they would, the HR department there was fucking truly evil. Okay. Because they would have like a list of like relatives who had, guys in there.
Oh God, it's like legacy admission.
That was the whole thing, because he was like, all right, so we know that, okay, so Bob works here, he's a fuck up, so don't hire his kid. Okay, or it'd be like, all right, so Pete does work here, he's great, his younger brother just turned 18, get him before he gets married. So yes, and it was like,
wow,
I know, they were just
holy crap.
It was weird. So they would actually come to our hiring sessions all the way from Omaha. They would send a dude. So it was always the same guy. It was this old school black guy. So who just had worked. He'd been like an engineer for like 20 years, before he went corporate. And he would come out with his little list. And he'd be like, okay, so here's the guys that I want. And then he would let us pick from the rest of them. So it was, I've never fucking seen that, man. I've never fucking seen that.
No, seriously, that sounds straight off of the legacy like Harvard list.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very much so like that, man. It was. I've never seen anything like that.
I saw
that company was crooked as fuck. So,
well, it sounds like that crookedness has legacy, has like history.
Everything's got a reason.
Yeah,
that's the once you'll see things, you'll be like, that's the most retarded way to do this possible.
Right.
And then someone would give you the backstory and be like, that makes sense. Because all the alternatives are much worse.
This is somebody's like, so let me tell you about this thing that happened in 1985.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And it's like, and then they tell the story, blah, 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 and then it ends and it says like, and that's why they had to write everybody that was there that day a $25,000 check.
Yes, right.
Right?
Yeah, and that's why they all get Saturdays off first.
Right. And then you say that's why you can't horse collar tackle them.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Right.
This is why you can't bring guns to union rallies.
Well, we have some history of that, don't we? Some fool that like shot himself on the job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What? Well, he wasn't. It was off hours, but he was
On location.
Yeah. Cleaning his gun.
Oh, so this was an accident?
And he shot himself through the leg. So he got in his vehicle, brought his gun, drove off location, fired off another round to say that he got shot. Even though the shack had a bullet hole. Yeah, people don't do
I know,
when that emergency button hits.
Did he get canned for that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That one's an easy.
This was like, I'm done with it, man. I'm never going back kind of shooting. But like a legit accident, like just,
There was another time that one of the guys brought his gun on location and he cleans it out and does all that stuff, makes his own bullets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He got all the free time. But the MWD did not like him. And so he reported.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were coming and he took his gun, he threw it under the shack, buried it with dirt. And so they searched his vehicle, searched his shack, and nothing's here. And he's like, that motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking.
Oh, you're gonna kill him.
He was going to kill that guy. Because he's just like, I can't believe that motherfucker would call me. He was just like he got it. They saw the guy pull on location and somebody came in and they're like, dude, the guy's here looking for weapons. And he just blood just dropped out of his face. And he's like, keep him busy if they come in here. And he just bolts, goes out there, and he's just like, I'm like, holy
that's
shit,
bananas.
dude.
That's bananas.
Look, all right, I get it, and I wouldn't want to be ratted on either. But there's also a component like, bro, you are loading ammunition. You are making your own ammunition here.
This is bad management. It really is. Like, if you got like who's in charge of a rig site?
The company, man, technically.
Technically, I guess the pusher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't let your guys do weird shit like that makes other people uncomfortable.
But the pusher would never come bother us.
No.
Yeah. The company man would. He could come in there
But they would, like, never go into your personal shack.
Oh, this was in his personal shack?
That he had the gun? Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was doing it, like, fucking at
No,
the...
he would do it out
Oh,
There was like a company
oh.
policy that you're allowed to have guns on the site.
No.
See, yeah, so there's a management failure here somewhere, man.
Well, you're not supposed to have any alcohol on site.
Right, yeah. So, and then you actually have an accident that involves alcohol, and then everybody has to, like, fucking pee in the cup. Yeah, so this is also bad management at this time.
But you told me that was sort of like a compromise. I believe you're the one that taught me the rhyme. If you ban beer, whiskey will appear.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not going to keep it off the...
But man, I get a job that pays that much, I'd be firing people left and right. I would, like, get the fuck out.
You wouldn't have staff then.
Oh, that's okay. I'll find new ones. So,
well, how you get rig guys is somebody quits.
Yeah.
Your buddy goes, "Can you work tomorrow?"
Yeah.
And I say, "Yeah."
Yeah.
You're on.
Yeah.
If you survive, you keep the job.
Yeah. If you lose fingers, you're on.
Like they're in applying for the job and doing all that stuff. It was.
Yeah, that's bad management, man. So,
well, I mean, it's sort of a unique area. I mean, look, so I thought he was doing that shit in the work shack. I'm like, that should not be something that anybody's like, I'm gonna kill that guy. It's like, no,
it doesn't matter, man. You shouldn't have a gun out there. Like, is your shack fucking bulletproof?
No.
Right. So if it accidentally goes off and hits somebody on the head, that's actually on the work site. Yeah, you're gonna have some problems here. So
well, and a lot of the guys, a lot of the guys I worked with, they did bring guns, but they left them in their trucks.
Okay.
Or they
I don't have a right to search that. So
yeah, you do.
Well, they do.
Does it matter? Oh, okay.
It's on location, but the whole thing was like it was no surprise because what would happen is a lot of guys after their shifts, these were like fishermen and stuff.
Yeah,
like
they go
this.
do some hunting.
So they weren't like dumb about it, and every now and then they would come in there and say like, "Hey, check out what I got," right?
Yeah.
And I just showed it off. It's like, this is harmless. Any other job, you're like, you can't go into the credit union and be like you
can't go to the elementary school.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Let me show this to Principal Skinner here.
But I mean, out here at a place like this is totally harmless. Like they would show, like the company man would be there for it. It's like, let me see what you got.
Oh, they'd be pretty proud.
Yeah, but that in that case, I'm like, I never had any concern. And the first thing they do is they'd show you there's like nothing in it, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be a manager there. No way. There's no way. I wouldn't tolerate any of that.
Like it's hard because like
I wouldn't tolerate any of that.
the weird thing is like it worked. Most of the time it worked. Those stupid incidents were few and far between. That's why they were legendary. That's why it wasn't like.
Oh yeah, they become funny stories, man. So.
You know, and part of the reason that. Because that was part of the reason that you could retain jobs out there was because you had that kind of freedom with the kind of torture that these guys were under, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you went out there and just ran it like a full-blown... First off, if you posted up a fucking, actual manager, like a baker guy, who was there not to work, but to supervise and send in reports every day...
We had a safety guy on the rig.
Which safety guy?
When I worked when I was an actual roughneck,
Just got dive.
they had a safety hand hired on.
Oh.
And he would basically just kind of monitor and watch, see how things go and all that kind of stuff. And
for a baker?
No, it was, I don't know who hired him. I don't remember.
I know that like
wasn't. I don't think it wasn't a Baker guy.
Okay, because I know that Anadarko had
Their own safety guy.
Yeah,
it might have been the.
That's the company that dude was from. Right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
We had a meeting about, because I was working on an Anadarko.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
The day after it happened, I was like, what the? I was like, I don't. The thing was, they were talking about the incident in like. They wouldn't say it directly. They wouldn't say like what happened. But the thing was, like, there were a bunch of guys like nodding their heads, and
I get it.
And there were a bunch of us like, I know that guy.
Well, it's not a big world, so
No,
that makes sense.
And it happened right here.
That was in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it
was
up in
weird.
Longmont or
Up near Greeley. I
Greeley?
think.
Okay.
That shit was weird. They talked about
Windsor. I think right.
Windsor, yeah, that's right before the border, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's between Fort Collins and Loveland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when that happened, like Anadarko's like number 3 guy was out there.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And he was just going from rig to rig to rig to talk about the changes, because I think that's when we had to do submit to additional background checks.
Probably a good idea. See exactly how many bench warrants we have around here.
Well, the tough thing is, like, with those guys, like, well, if you do that, don't be surprised what you find on these things.
Yeah,
People will disclose this shit, but
well, background checks aren't expensive, so and your company was making billions of dollars. It shouldn't be that hard. So,
well, it wasn't our guys that were doing it. It was like Anadarko was.
Well, right, sure, those guys.
But they had to do it on all of us. Everybody that was out there. Yeah.
No shit. I mean, we can get a full blown background check done on somebody for like $35. It's not that expensive.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't a question of price. It was a question of don't be surprised what you find.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But
you know the guys that are working for you. Like you need to be pretty open with what you're willing to accept.
Depending on what you find.
As far as somebody's background,
like,
man.
wait a minute, you're wanted for what in Nevada?
Well, so, as long as...
That's a state where most things are legal.
As long as you come to terms with, like, hey, you've paid your debt to the society, I think you'll be fine with most of the guys there.
Yeah. Well, that's something that is starting to change a little bit, man. I've noticed that some employers are getting a lot more flexible about people who have criminal records.
Good.
It is good. So it is good. And so, just because it lets just shut you down. Like here in the state of Colorado, you cannot work for the state of Colorado if you have a felony on your record. And so, and I've had students over the years, especially when I used to teach at that shit college.
There's the second time you've called it that today.
Well, it's accurate. It's
The name on the sign.
It's name on the sign. Yeah, it wasn't quite the shit volcano. But we'd have students all the time come in and like, I want to get into like criminal justice and stuff, and it was like, do you have a record? And they're like, yeah. It's like, well, you can't do that here, so I'm not going to take your money. So
yeah.
Yeah, my boss said, "Oh yeah, we will take your."
Do we get into the
actual shit volcano?
I guess
it's time.
I
guess it's time for coffee cup number 2. So
since the shoe didn't drop?
Today.
His body didn't drop yet, but
I didn't even notice it until I was talking to my mom, and she was watching the Fox News. She was like, "Oh, Joe Biden's gone." So
I actually switched to CNN.
Did you really?
Yeah,
So with Brian
curious.
Stelter, was you over there?
Yep.
Flapping his.
Wait,
fat
no.
gums?
Who's the white beard guy? Is that?
That's not Brian Stelter.
No.
Brian Stelter is the guy with the Joker smile and the bald head.
Oh yeah, no. It was Wolf
Blitzer, the
Wolf
old guy.
Blitzer,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
He's actually
he was
cool. So
going.
he's actually okay.
But yeah, I was just like, I just happened to see it on my phone, and I was like, wait, what? And I turned it on, and I was like, Fox is gonna just make fun.
Fox is gonna totally make fun of him.
Fox is kind of they've really sort of slowed down with that kind of rhetoric.
Yeah, but it's much more of like, well, Trump's gonna crush Kamala and this and that, and this is gonna be a mockery of justice because
I don't
we're not
know
gonna
if
have a primary, so they're just skipping this. They waited to do this. This was all staged and blah. And I'm like,
I'm not 100% that she's gonna get it. So
Well, I noticed that Obama did not endorse her.
Neither did Nancy Pelosi, which was weird. So
There was a list of 5 prominent Democrats that had not, including Gavin Newsom.
well, of course he won't, man. So, I mean, if she gets into the office, imagine this. So it's like she actually beats Trump. Say Trump does fall on a rake or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So he actually rape a bitch. Or something. There's tape. Whatever. So okay, fine. He loses. She might, like, Gavin Newsom isn't that young.
No.
He's mid-50s.
Is he that old?
I think so.
I think so. He's close.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still talking about potentially 8 years.
Yeah.
And there's no way he's going to get on the VP ticket on that thing.
Well, they're both from California.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible, man. Well, I mean, it's technically possible. I just don't think the Democrats are the Democrats are that stupid.
They're already saying that she'd pull some guy out of the governor or the mayor of Pennsylvania or something.
Oh,
like
Shapiro, he won't do it. He's too smart. It's a suicide run, man.
Well, you would. This isn't even one of those.
Must be in my back seat, man.
Yeah. Oh, shit. This is.
You're gonna crash it into Trump, go Giro.
Nah, man. This is fucking Democrats -1. This is like the other thing was they said that Joe Manchin was planning to run.
That is interesting. I mean, yeah, all he has to do is like re-register, and he'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Who was the other guy? The guy with the big nose guy, who was running actually in the primary? No, not Kennedy. I saw a press conference by him today.
He can't speak right.
Well, and he never has been able to. But his whole thing is like. It's like, why aren't you running in the Democratic ticket?
They kicked him out or something. They changed.
Well, he can still register as a Democrat,
But a lot of states have already excluded him, if I recall.
Yeah, they did. They changed a whole bunch of rules during the primaries or during the time so that he wasn't allowed to run
as an independent,
as a Democrat.
As a Democrat.
Okay.
Because
who changed the rules?
The Biden administration
changed the DNC's rules,
yeah,
so that he couldn't run as a Democrat. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that till today, and they were breaking it down. It had something to do with him being in the New Hampshire primary before, because they said which where the first primary was.
Yes.
And they said so because he ran in that primary.
Oh, yeah, they did. They switched
allowed.
it to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
he wasn't allowed to run as a Democrat.
He wouldn't win anyway.
No,
So,
they just didn't want anybody to
you-
take votes or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to the guy speak, he says something great and then 5 things that are completely retarded. So, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, so, like, Biden can't make the delegates vote for...
No, they said that they
Kamala.
released all of them.
I don't think he had a choice in that if he's
Yeah, I
not
don't
running
think he-
anymore. I don't think he can say, here's all my stuff.
No,
he can
they
say
said
that with
it's
the
all
money.
free.
So there's like $100 million, which isn't that much. So, but
I think it was more. I think it was like 180 million, but still.
it's still not that much.
No, that's what Disney spent on the Acolyte.
Right.
Like to the penny.
To the penny.
Yeah, that's just to put things in perspective.
Right.
And
So-
what I can say is that the RNC right now is they're getting money hand over fist.
They got a lot of money. So
They didn't before.
No.
But yeah, month over month it's been like really increasing, and this month alone they've been getting money in piles. I wonder why.
Well, that's an obvious
Oh, the
answer.
conspiracy theories flying around that
they're
thing
everywhere.
Are so much fun too.
Yeah.
Like there's a lady sitting right behind. I don't know if you've seen this, but
The FBI girl,
I don't know if she's is she an FBI girl?
they say no.
That's sitting there super calmly when the shot goes off, and then she pays or like just brings out her phone to record it.
They say that's not her.
Okay.
But that being said, the information that that I thought was interesting today, and again, this is like unconfirmed. This whole thing needs to be so. All right, so so, 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 Queen Bee of the Secret Service of the SS is supposed to be out as of Monday.
Oh, is she?
Supposedly.
I didn't see that today.
She is
And
supposed to be-
it is a fire hose of information, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's impossible to keep on top of it.
the one that came out today, but again, I'm going to have to wait for verification on this, and I think this has to come out in an investigation, like full blown. Is the sniper reported that he shot someone from, I think, 488 yards away, right? Now the thing is, they broke it down and they say, but that's not the guy over there on that roof.
Those aren't the guys who shot.
But this is the thing is, but 488. No, this is the guy who shot.
No. The guys behind Donald Trump in the picture.
Yeah.
They are not the guys who shot.
No.
Yeah.
But the shooter shot this shot from that far, and he's what, 20?
He was like 100.
He's 180.
Yeah.
Oh, 180.
Yeah. Or like 143 something.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the sniper that reported that he shot from like 488.
Yeah, he was further.
Well, that's the thing is does not line up with the guy on the roof. It lines up with the water tower.
I haven't seen anything about the water tower. There's a dead guy on the roof, but I was mistaken that the snipers behind Trump in the photo, they did not actually shoot. It's a guy on a further building to his right, behind the other right-hand stand. That might be 400 yards away.
No, they said that was not.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet.
Again, this came out. I read this like 4 hours ago. So this could be bullshit by the time that I'm saying it now.
So I've got a couple good sources on this that are you like check out local Pittsburgh news. They're actually doing a good job going up interviewing a shitload of people in that area, including a lot of the local cops. So there weren't local cops in the building. Nope. They had secured the building. Okay, and then they put these little tabs on the doors
because they didn't have enough guys, right?
No, they didn't have shit for guys. Yeah. And they actually confronted the dude on the roof. Okay, who he climbed. That was not his ladder. All right, the cops put that ladder up there afterwards to get to him. Okay, so he climbed on an air conditioning unit. People saw that. Okay, and so some cops, like these guys are on traffic control out there. They come in because there's a guy, and you can see another guy walking towards them. He's actually like a boss, he's closer to the Secret Service. And so he calls those guys in. One guy boosts another guy up onto the roof, who grabs it with his two hands, pulls his head up, and gets a gun shoved in his face. And so he instantaneously let go of the roof. Calls it in at that point in time. Not like a minute later is when the dude starts shooting.
Wow.
So this thing where they say that they had like a 20-minute time limit, the local cops were like, absolutely not. So yeah, they're like, no, he might have been on the roof that long, but after we confronted him, it was only like a minute. So yeah.
Okay.
And the snipers that you see behind Donald Trump, there's a tree in between them and the shooter. So they can't see through it. That's why they're looking over their scopes. Okay. So guys on the further building, which was the backup team, which you can hear them, saying like, "Hey, we'll take the shot." Okay. So this guy takes one shot. There's 9 shots in total, which is weird. So
yes.
And so some of the local cops, and this is what I'm trying to track down now, some of the local cops reported that one of their units actually returned fire at the sniper. So he might have only gotten 3 shots off. And then one of the local teams, and just put a pin on this, see if it actually turns out to be true, might have actually shot back at the guy, because you hear 3 shots, a pause, 5 shots of maybe not the same caliber, okay, but close. So the shooter's gun was a 5.56, it's not an Armalite, it's something a little bit different, but it's basically an AR, okay? And then you hear 5 shots that are almost exactly the same, but not quite, and that might be the local cop shooting back. And then you hear 1 sonic shot, and that's the sniper bullet who blew his head wide open. That one was a hit. So that one was a hit.
Yeah.
And so, now there's some weird stuff going on with it, with the local cops in particular. So, and the Secret Service tried to say, no, you had guys in that building. They're like, fuck you. We did not. So you told us to park a car out there. We didn't have a car. And there's actually 5 local agencies involved in it. So there's 2 sheriff's departments, the Butler Police, the FBI, and then the Secret Service. All have guys there. So, and the state troopers were there as well. So And so if you go to like local Pittsburgh news, they've got guys who are going to all these counties and talking to the cops who are actually there, and you can just find much, much better stuff.
This is okay. So if you have, as you're saying, 5 to 6 different, groups on location.
Yeah.
Shooter still gets shots off.
Yeah.
The information is nebulous.
Yep.
This is a colossal fuck up.
It totally is. Yeah. And so, that's why we need to figure out, like, and this will come out. I mean, so I'm kind of afraid that the firefighter actually might have gotten hit by friendly fire because he's actually on the other side of Donald Trump. So just wait for that. Put a pin in that one.
It's not his fault.
No, I get that. But the two people who were wounded, so if you look at Trump at the stage, they're on the right side of him if you're looking at him. The firefighter's on the left side. So he's in a different spot. So that was weird. So just yeah, like the Secret Service has been trying to pin a lot on the local cops, and they're actually like firing back. So
this is pathetic. This is
it kind of is, man. Yeah. So I mean, it's obviously, and like the state troopers, they wanted nothing to do with it. So they had a guy who did a press conference the other day and kind of walked people through a lot of what he knew. So, but he obviously doesn't know everything.
But it's the kind of thing that makes me far less confident about business as usual.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. The other thing is the dude actually scoped it out like 2 hours before.
Yeah.
With a drone.
Yes.
He had a fucking drone.
Yes.
But he actually retrieved his drone and put it back in his fucking car.
That's insane.
I know. I mean, he went all the way back to his car before he actually did the shooting. So
that's what I'm talking about.
The local cops, they tried to confront him, but he melted back into the crowd. They were able to take a picture of him and send it out. Say, hey, watch out for this guy. He had a rangefinder. He comes back out of his car. He doesn't have the rangefinder anymore. He put it back in his fucking car.
But that's the thing.
It's weird, man.
My understanding here is, like, if you have something like that goes on and you can't get the guy, then you're supposed to put the boss on, like you can't go out there.
I don't know about that. The thing that I'm waiting to see is, like, how often does, like, these false alarms actually happen at his rallies? So they say, well, we just got a creepy guy who's trying to fly a drone around. You don't shut down the whole fucking rally if that happens every single time. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Plus range fire. I mean, and
it is weird. It is totally weird. I just need more info.
No. And you know what? This is okay. I appreciate that you're actually trying to go to local nonpartisan sources to actually get this, because
that's a good idea. I never would have thought to look there.
Local news is typically nonpartisan, and if you're trying to defend the locals, saying like, hey, we're not all fucking Roscoe and Enos out here.
Right.
They will talk to your local lady that they see on the news every night, as opposed to some dick from CNN.
Well, especially when the tact was immediate upon this happening, is like, these fucking hayseed cops over here fucked us all over. It's like, whoa.
No, there's a great interview with one of the Butler city manager, where he kind of walks through everything that his police force did. So, and then there's another one where they actually, like, a local reporter went to this kid's school. So he interviewed a bunch of his teachers. So, and that's interesting because they're like, what the fuck?
They got to his friends too, and it's like, dude.
Well, I mean, some of the stuff that you saw in there was like, okay, this isn't the bullying that you were saying that it was.
No.
Okay, the kid's just quiet and kind of sticks to himself and stuff like that.
He did say and do some weird shit too, though.
Well, like what? I didn't find too much of that.
They had a friend of his that there were two guys that one was a friend of his that they talked about stuff, but I'll get.
I didn't see this one.
Yeah, but the other one was the two guys at like the gun range.
I didn't see that one either.
Yeah, the two guys that they were talking. They were literally talking about Trump. They were talking about the country in general and the current leadership that it was under.
Oh yeah.
And so this triggered this kid to actually like start piping in, right?
Oh, at the gun range?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know about that one, so we'll have to see.
That being said, that would not be something that that would just be like a politically charged thing.
Yeah,
that I would expect
we could get arrested for that.
No. But I understand. But like, if say for example, like William and I were over there like talking some political shit in the line at Safeway.
Oh yeah.
The person behind us that's a different persuasion could be egged on to jump in and be like, well, that's some bullshit that you're saying right there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that sort of the same way those two guys were having that conversation, but right near this guy who is,
that happens all the time.
Exactly.
That
wouldn't flag me and say like this kid's a psychopath.
It's interesting though. I gotta go check that one out. So because I didn't see that one. I did see that there was like a Steam account that had a post on it, but that turned out to be
the only one. Yeah,
it turned out to be fake.
Like,
somebody else set that up. And then there was like some kids who, like they were saying a couple different things, like he tried out for the gun team, blah blah blah.
Sucked.
The school said he never did.
Oh,
so yeah.
Well, that was the report, was that he sucked.
Yes,
that was the initial report.
So the school
gotta be pretty good. That's a decent shot.
No. No.
He should have splattered him.
He should have murdered the shit. Dude, that gun's windage doesn't even go down that low, because at that range, the bullet's trajectory is still perfectly straight. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, but so no, they interviewed, like there was one kid who used to be like the captain of the gun team, and he said he sucked, but then they went and they talked to the actual coach of the team. He's like, he never tried out. He's like, he might have come down to the range and popped off a couple rounds, but he never actually tried out.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
that's why because of the original report, because it sounded like they definitely knew him.
Yeah, the gun range was like, the gun coach was like, I don't remember him. So
Right.
and he says, I can tell you just looking at my records, he never officially tried out for the team.
Well, he has kind of a weird face, and that's the sort
the
of
kid.
Yeah,
he did.
That's the sort of dude that if you're as a coach, you'd be like, well, I remember this guy.
This guy. So,
Like,
he looks like Napoleon Dynamite, man.
he kind of well,
He looked like the Riddler.
he
does.
He does. He's got like he's got this weird like fucking like fish head where like the his forehead sticks out a little bit too much. You would just like I remember this guy. It's like you remember that story like a while back? This must have been like 5-10 years ago, but it was a huge story. There's a guy in Cleveland that he was a bus driver. And he had been abducting girls and keeping them.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
You remember this, right? When you see him, you're like, that motherfucker has people in his basement.
Yeah.
You remember his face?
I do, yeah.
It's like, you could just tell.
You're right. And we were all right about that. Yeah.
And this dude right here has that kind of look. He has that kind of like, man, your head's just a little bit misshapen in a way that I don't like.
They're not getting much out of his phone, though, yet. So,
Yeah.
It's like, there's very little.
This is weird.
There's like,
Right.
There's like kids who were in his class who don't remember him, and then
Right.
like his parents are both like professional counselors. So, yeah. And then his dad actually phoned in after a couple hours of not seeing his son and seeing the shooting.
Yes.
And then
right.
said, hey,
yeah,
my
yeah,
boy is missing with the gun. So he was supposed to be back by now. And then his parents went off radar, which is smart. So, yeah. So,
there's so much weird shit going on.
It's completely rando, kind of like in the direction that it's been meandering. And so I just can't keep my eyes off of it, man. Because it's just like more input, need more.
But that's the thing is, Joe Biden just left the race.
Yeah.
The information supply on this is about to dry up like a riverbed.
Because it's all on this now.
Yes.
What?
The news shifted, yeah.
So
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm like slow it down a little bit. So because Mike, like speaker Mike John Mikeson,
I know. He actually said something smart.
he wants to put together a congressional commission. And so let's do it. Let's do it, baby.
Do it right.
Yes, slow it down. So get all the interviews done. Fire this lady. So get a new guy.
You fire her from a fucking cannon.
We were talking about the other. I can't believe she's still on the job. So,
And again, just the
most tone deaf interview of the entire thing, man. So
just the question of like, are you going to change anything for today? It's like, no, I think we're doing a pretty good job. Like, I have evidence that yes. But
We got about 1,000 different takes of this on people's cell phones, man. And that's the thing about this that's going to be different than, like, you know, JFK, is you've got so many
film.
You're going to be able to stitch together the entire thing through all this digital film out there because it's out there, man. And so, you know, and it won't be hard to verify.
Dude,
and
I remember the day of, this was the thing, like later on, that ladder, right? Because people immediately started taking to that, and what they started doing was going into, like, the history of Google Earth. They're like, is that was that ladder there? It's like, well, it wasn't. Right?
No, it wasn't.
So this had to be, because, you know, it can happen. People just leave shit there, right? And, people just started independently researching with the shit that got posted. And, imagine... This is I wasn't there when this happened to Kennedy, right? I can't imagine, like, the having to discern all of this from basically one video.
One video and 1,000 eyewitnesses.
Yes.
Now you have 1,000 videos and 1,000 eyewitnesses. This is a much better ratio.
And this is the thing. This is as more and more time has gone by, and I think you've seen this from all, like, the crime shows and stuff, like, eyewitness testimony is oftentimes crap.
It is so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, it's easy to misremember. It's easy. Like, you know, my wife used to run into this all the time. You'd have people who want to help. You know, they really want to help. And so, you know, well, what do you need to know? You know, kind of thing. And they say, well, did you see this? Oh, yeah, actually, I think I did, you know, kind of thing.
Yes.
And so, but like with the actual, and the same thing's true with this one with the gunfire. People were like, oh, it was like 11 seconds. It was like 4 minutes and stuff. It's like, no, you can watch the video and you can time it down. Okay. This is easy breezy. Yeah. So, you know, these guys are all using the same fucking cell phone tower. So you can tell this guy's timeline and this guy's timeline. You know, it's easy, man. You know.
Well, my brother. Okay, this is something that I have to absolutely credit my brother with. I've never seen somebody that. I think he has. Well, I don't want to talk about you in third person like this, but I think you have this weird sort of like electromagnetic connection to the Earth in terms of like measurements. Like, because if I ask you to mentally say like 1 second, you'll know it, and you'll be close, like really close. If I say, show me on your hand 2 inches. Right?
Okay.
Go ahead. He's close.
Yeah, he's close.
He's close.
So would everybody here.
Yeah, so
No. Like I've asked girls, like, show me an inch on your fingers, like this. Like, this is an inch. Or they'll hold them like super
like
close. They'll hold them like super close.
Yeah.
I've seen guys do that.
Yeah.
Right? I'll ask, like, if you ask somebody who's like, how tall is a door frame? Like 12 feet. and this is, it's...
As a short guy, I can attest to that.
I know.
So you have to wait a fuck up there.
But you have always been, like, I remember I took out the measuring tape and I got you, and you're like, so, like, dead on with that, right? So when you ask eyewitnesses, was that 4 seconds? It's like, according to who? What was the distance?
That's true.
I don't know. A mile? Like, if you ask, this is a weird one. Like, if you... This goes in the same category of, like, when they poll Americans, they say how many men think they can beat a bear in a fist fight, right? Out of 100, like, it's something to the tune of like 30 guys think they can do it.
Oh my god!
Out of
100,
like 30 out of every 100 guys thinks that they can take a bear in a fist fight, right?
Nobody can take a bear. I think it'll rip your face off.
I shit you not. I will get you the data.
I believe you. I believe you.
I've seen the bear, but I definitely was not going to challenge it.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, you have people like this, and you ask people, you say, how many Americans think they can run a mile, right? A lot of people just say, like, oh, just 1 mile? You'll get, like,
That's
95 people being like, oh, I can do that.
Oh, I know you Jeff. You've been running for 20 years.
Well, I know you can. I know I can. Right? But there's a lot of people that when they think about a mile and how far they can run, they get to the end of the block and stop. But they're like, a mile seems so short, and just one of them. It's like, nah, you have no idea. Right?
How many laps around a track is a mile? Isn't it 16?
4.
Oh, it's 4.
Yeah, it ain't 16, man. It's a quarter. It's a quarter-mile track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. No.
Yeah, so, you know, it does. Track running is the most boring, right? It is.
I remember.
But, you know, when it was like, what do you do? It's like 20 laps. It's
Oh, yeah.
so boring. But yeah, it was supposed to be a little bit easier on my knees, but fuck it. It's just like, I can't do it. It's so boring. But anyway, yeah. People have way big discrepancies when they're talking about time, when they're talking about distance, how much they think they can do, how many bears they think they could fight. They asked that same question with like tigers, and it was like, no.
The answer is 0.
Apparently and lions apparently can jump 30 feet.
I forgot about that. He was a lion on that fucking water tower. Some of them fuckers.
You want to talk about me having a special power, though? Okay.
Yes.
So, on this trip that we took to Oregon, get to the airport. I have my confirmation number, everything for the rental car. I don't exist. So, you know, we have to go through the whole process. All this kind of stuff.
Right.
Get out, go. All right, fine. Get ready to check on the plane for the flight back. Go to the app, sign in, check all of us in. It, like, is bringing up weird stuff. It's bringing me up the past date of the flight. It's bringing up my name twice, not Williams.
This is weird.
It's doing all sorts of weird stuff, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So our flight gets delayed. So
because of Crowdstrike?
No, not yet.
Oh,
okay. So it's gonna be multiple hours, but because the booking.com was gonna refund me the price of my rental car as long as the times are the same.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, well, drive the car into the airport, get an Uber back. While I'm there, I'm like, okay, I'll be at the counter. I can get my boarding passes, all that kind of stuff. And they don't have people there because it's too late, and they're only there, I guess they're there 2 hours before a flight, but leave an hour before a flight. Like, I don't know. That's what they had.
What the fuck?
This is Frontier, I guess that's how they...
So that is the shittiest airline.
Yeah, I'm done with Frontier. So I go, but they have their little kiosks there.
There are people that
work
say,
for them.
no, I just saw this there. I haven't yet, but there are people that say Spirit is worse.
I wouldn't fly either. So,
But anyway,
so I go to their little kiosk, and I type in my number and all that. It's like, you are not found. You have no reservation. And I'm like, what the hell? And so I'm like, all right, well, we'll have to come back anyway. I hope everything's fine. Come back. Yep, we're there. I guess they charge you $25 to print your boarding pass.
Yes, they do.
At the counter.
Yes.
But you can go to the gate, and they'll print it for you for free.
Yeah, if you have it on your phone, you can still get through security.
Oh, because you just beep it.
Yeah.
And
so, but you don't have to actually scan your boarding pass to get through security.
Oh, you don't?
You just have to give your license.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
We had to do boarding pass for the kids.
Yeah.
And they're scanned okay, even though it didn't say the right name for William.
That's weird.
But
what?
So I'm just like, okay, I don't have a clue what's going on. But okay, we land. So William had borrowed my girlfriend's earbuds for the flight, and he fell asleep and like crashed, and like the earbuds shot out. His phone was on the floor, like
what?
Because he fell asleep and just.
Oh yeah, he just yeah.
So I woke up and I heard the guy say, "Hey, we found an earbud. If you're missing an earbud, come up and talk to us." And so William woke up right before the flight, and he's like, "Where's my phone? I don't even know." And it's somebody picked it up and put it in the pouch in front of him, but he didn't know, so he's just like, "I have no phone. It's gone," and all this stuff. So
just kill me now.
So he finds one of the earbuds, and I'm like, okay, I think they said something up there. We'll get it on the way out. We'll check with them.
Wait a minute, did you have a connection, or was this in Denver?
No, I'm just in Denver.
Oh, okay.
And so we get up to the front, and there's already a guy there saying, "Hey, I've lost my earbud." And it's like, oh, crap. And then there's like, oh, there's another person that's, I think we already gave the earbud away. And I'm like, God damn, everybody just fucking, okay. And so William and I are sitting there, and I'm like, all right, William, just go on out. I'll go back and check once all these people walk off. And then so the stewardess is just like, oh, here, we found one. And I'm like, crap, I didn't even look at what the other one looked like. So, all right, this is gonna be a challenge.
Perfect.
And so I'm like, okay, I try calling William. His phone doesn't answer. He didn't take off airplane. So I call my girlfriend, and all of a sudden I get like, hello? And I'm like, who's this? And my ex-wife's name came up on the phone
Okay.
as who was calling. So she thought she must be trying to talk to William or something, even though she had no idea how she would have had her number. I mean, it said first and last name of my ex-wife.
Right.
What?
As my name.
What's going on with your electronics, bro?
And so I'm just like, and then so on top of that, we go to get my car from parking. We get over there. I go put the ticket in. I've already prepaid, and it's like $66.
Yeah, at DIA.
Well, no, like I already paid like off the thing, and I already paid it. It should have just opened the gate, and it said I owed $66.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, I push the button, and she's like, yeah, just come on over. And then she's like, yeah, I don't know, you can just go on through.
Well, that was nice.
And I'm just like, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Everything with electronics, I'm breaking. I'm like, they don't want me to go to work. No matter what, they do not want me to go to work. And then Crowdstrike explodes. And I'm like, dude,
There's the punchline. I was about to say, man.
I'm like, I don't have a clue what's going on, but I need to not touch stuff. Like,
That is bizarre.
I was like, no matter what, they do not want me to come into work.
But it all worked out.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't gotten the refund for my car yet, but
No, you won't for like another
week,
yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But the same thing goes with when I book a hotel on the way out, I was like, no, actually, I don't want to stay here. I want to go a little bit further. So I canceled that one. They're like, hey, no problem. But you'll get this back in like a week. Like, I should get it back now.
I don't book at hotels where I have to pay up front.
Well, no, and
I've
it's
got
cool. They
checked,
give you the option
sometimes.
to like pay at.
I always pay at the desk.
Yeah.
So that way, like, yeah, because I've gotten screwed by that a couple times where it's like, oh, we don't have your reservations. Like, fuck you, bookings.com.
That's who
So,
it was.
or I don't think, I don't think it was them. It was the other one, like hotels.com.
Well, booking is owned by Priceline, I found out. So.
There we go.
really?
It's Priceline. The fucking Carl Icon's fucking vampire squid company.
Shut up! Really?
Yeah.
He's responsible.
He's
for this?
responsible for that fucking bullshit. So it's all the same. It's the octopus, man. Whatever tentacle you touch, it goes to the same brain.
Man,
There's
fuck-
only
oh,
two.
man.
There's only like two booking companies.
Yeah.
They just have so many
You're
different
right.
names.
It's Priceline.
Well, they used to be separate, right?
Oh, probably.
Probably.
And they all
Yeah.
just got.
Yeah.
That's what Carl Icahn does. So yeah, I can't believe that fucker's still alive.
Which sucks because when I was looking for this trip, I would search all these sites and I'm like, it's even like the exact same look.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
you guys aren't even trying, man.
They used to be like separate, and then they all just got to like. It's such bullshit.
See, this is like the last couple times I booked directly with the airline. So yeah, even it costs a little bit more. It's like
Well, I
totally
did that
worth it.
with this one. I broke the flight off from the other two things. I
Got it.
Put the price because of
Yeah.
the price, and you got to choose your seat, which you pay a little bit more. But if you did it through the site, then you had to pay that and pay to check your
Right,
bags
yeah.
and pay. Like it was like holy crap.
Oh no, Frontier's the worst, man. It's just like you want to use this thing that's free on most other airlines. It's not free here, buddy.
Oh no! The reason I'm done with them.
Yeah.
The reason I'm done with them. Their seats don't have a button.
No, they don't have.
You can't recline it even the tiniest little bit.
To be fair, there's a lot of airlines that do that now.
What?
Yes.
That's jacked up.
Yes, it's true. Yes, it was even that way on American when I was flying just a month ago. And it has the button, but it doesn't do anything.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah,
That means it's a regular chair that's now bolted
That means
in
it
place.
had,
that's correct. Yes, that's the thing.
had it at one point and
Yes.
they yanked it.
So, yes, and Frontier. Yes, Frontier's. What? It didn't have a button at all.
It didn't even have a button.
Yeah, so like I remember working at Frontier. There were a couple times where we had these projects where they would go through This was before the bankruptcy, and they would strip out all the seats out of an airplane during C-check. And they have a new configuration where it's like, all right, we're going to push the seats this much closer. Okay. And so, all right. So now that the seats are this close, the FAA says that you got to disengage all of the cables that actually control whether or not your seat goes back. Okay. Because you have to have so much room, by law. And I remember that when they were starting to do that. And sure enough, now like new planes don't have that where you can go back.
Well, was it you that was laughing at it? That they told us that we couldn't swap seats because it might throw off the balance of the plane?
That is complete and utter bullshit. And whoever told you that was completely full of shit. They just count the number of people and then average the weight. So, yeah.
They're like, yeah, we can't have too many people switching to this side because it'll throw off the balance.
Was it the fucking gate agent or was it
the speaker in the plane?
So that's the flight attendant telling you that. She is full of shit. She just doesn't want to fuck with it, man. So, yeah.
Well, I heard somebody else say it on the return flight home, too. One of their other attendants.
This is on Frontier?
Both, yeah.
Oh, they're just being dicks. It's totally not true, man. I used to do weight and balance, man.
It's like, dude, then you'd have planes. This is bad, dude. It's just
if like just a couple, like 20 pounds of difference is like what keeps you from like barrel rolling.
Yes.
You have to put in weights as your seat.
That's called ballast.
Yeah.
You do not have to ballast an airplane like that.
You ballast it with the luggage.
Right.
I know how this works. Or you change the fuel load on it. So,
But yeah, because that would mean that like when people went to the restroom, you'd feel the plane move.
so we're all tilted on. Hard to starboard here. Everybody leave until Jeff gets back from the lab.
Oh, it's me. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's me. No, man. I remember like back in the day, the thing that used to always get me was, and this was like 20-something years ago. Was back in the you look at the chairs and you're like, there used to be an ashtray right here.
Yeah. They put that little steel plate over it.
Like, I should be able to smoke on this plate.
They got fancy smoke detectors in the labs now that actually detect vape smoke.
Yeah.
So I heard that they installed those at like Sierra High School down here last year, and they would get rung up like 8 to 10 times a day.
Just forget about it. I mean,
hey man,
it's like
no, they've already got the anti-vape campaign going on out there for the kids. And so,
you know what?
They're getting money for
it's
that.
high school. All right, so it's high school, but just don't trip about it. It's not a big deal.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, but apparently the FAA frowns upon that.
That is. Okay, so I just to finish, let me tell you about the last disappointing thing that I looked into just recently.
Okay.
So having taken a trip out to Portland by car, right, and back in a relatively short period of time, I didn't do it in one sitting like your lunatic ass did in the winter.
Yeah.
With my mother.
Yeah.
Who is going to be holding onto the fucking OS handle and bracing for impact every time that you look at the brake.
No, I drove pretty calmly. It was when the fuel gauge came on, like in Wyoming, that the real heart attacks were coming on. But yeah.
But okay, so take all of that into
You get
effect.
eaten by coyotes.
I just have to outrun you. Mom will be like, you don't want to eat.
They can open doors.
My mom's bad eating, dude. She's like stringy meat. Like,
yeah, that's not too big.
No, it wants you. It wants me. Is what it wants. But so having taken that trip, I said, all right, because I wanted to travel with my dog, and I don't. The one thing I don't want to do because of experiences because I know you can have the dog sedated and
Yeah, you can.
okay, but a lot of people that I know have had bad experiences with sedation, and the dog doesn't come out or the cat doesn't come out. Right? So like I don't want to do that, but I was like, you know what? Let me look and see if there's like a train.
No.
There is.
You can take your dog on a train.
You can take your dog on a train
Really?
for 8 hours.
To where?
Doesn't matter. You can take your dog on the train for exactly 8 hours and no further.
That doesn't get you to Portland.
Not even close. So the thing was, we don't have a direct train that goes to Portland.
No.
But they have a series that from Denver can get you there after switching a few times.
Yeah, if you go to where you'd have to go all the way to fucking Sacramento.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is not an 8-hour trip.
Now, is like, so it won't let you book the trip? Because those trains do stop about every, 6 to 8 hours to let everybody out. Is that what they mean by that?
According to this,
Yeah.
it says that if your dog is traveling on this train for more than 8 hours, it cannot get on board.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, on top of that, this is
surprise me. There's no place for your dog. So.
Well, it's also in coach.
Yeah.
There were, so I looked at another option. I was like, so number one, how long would this take?
3 days.
Something like that.
55 hours.
Good guess. See, you are good at that type of thing. Man. Yeah.
Ridiculous. So it's, I'm telling you, so like it's 55 hours. And the only other way to basically like have the dog with you and have a place for it was private cars.
Yeah.
A private car,
Thousands of dollars.
$1,500. And
That's one way.
That's one way.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah, because
Yeah.
I didn't look about it in terms of
Yeah.
Of course, I was just looking for the way out.
I mean, unless you're going out there and then like saying hi to your mom and then get in the car real quick and go back.
Dude, and this is the conclusion that I've come to is the one that you've come to, is that trains are fucking useless in this country.
The trains, you ride them for fun. Unless you live between fucking Washington, D.C. and Boston, there is no reason to get on a train in this country. Well, they got a new one that goes from Miami all the way up to like, I don't think it makes it all the way to Atlanta, but I think it does make it all the way to Jacksonville.
They've been trying to build one from Los Angeles to Las Vegas for 25 years.
Yeah.
Spent millions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah,
They're not
and-
even out of
and they're
downtown.
close.
Yeah,
Nope.
no.
Nope.
So, yeah.
That's a train I would take.
Why? Why would you want to go to Los Angeles?
No, if I lived in Los Angeles to Las Vegas.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'd take that one. But yeah, that's the like. I looked. I was like, "Are there any train options?" And it was like, "No, they suck.
They suck.
They fucking suck."
They're insanely expensive. So, like, how much did you pay for your tickets? If you don't mind me asking.
The round trip was $120, $130 per person.
That is dirt ass cheap. So yeah, I mean, like
I might even put up with Frontier for $130.
I'd see
To Portland?
I mean, it was from Denver to Portland, yeah.
Yeah, 130 round trip.
6 in the morning and then 1 in the morning.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
For $130. I mean, unless you looked at the other thing and it's like good airline 160. No problem. I'll take that.
And that was picking your seat and 1 bag carry-on.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
it.
They make you pay for your carry-ons, don't they? Sir, would you like some oxygen? You don't have the premium plan.
Otherwise, I think the flight was 98.
See, like for airline tickets, I shoot for about the 250 range, so per person, because that usually then you can get a refundable ticket. You can get.
I definitely didn't look for any.
Yeah. No, I mean that's important.
I never go for
yeah.
a refundable.
No.
Because it could work out for me. It
always works out for you. Yeah, I spent almost like $1,500 on tickets to Phoenix right when COVID hit. So yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So now I always get the refundable one, but like a train trip, like you can get to like. So like Phoenix for us would probably be about 200, 250 a person. Okay, so round trip. So usually we do Southwest because it's easy.
Yeah.
So everything on Southwest is free. So I mean, unless you're bringing like 3 sets of golf clubs.
Okay, so this wasn't a real tweet from Southwest, but they had like the funniest like mock-up that I saw, where it was again, not the real Southwest, but it was the thing was it had to do with the Crowdstrike. What is it called? Crowdstrike. So their joke was, well, look who's running the good old Southwest now. After you made so much fun of us, he's like, this is. It's like the joke is like, because all of our systems run from one Commodore 64 Arlington.
Joke's on you, fuckers. Yeah, exactly. So, like, oh, too bad we don't have any interline agreements. Haha. So your ID 95 is not going to work over here.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that
we
one,
can
but
completely nerd out about that stuff. But anyway, yeah. So like 250 on Southwest, and then like the train, which you can take pretty close to there. You can get to, I think, at Flagstaff. It's like $800, and that's in fucking coach, and it takes like 17 hours. So, and I was like, "What the? Wait, what?
Who is doing this?
I never want to hear a fucking word out of train people again. Like, there's an entire...
I have to take a Greyhound down to fucking La Junta to catch the motherfucker." It was like, why?
And people keep saying this, like that's why that whole like section of YouTube can die in a fire, because like you say this, but you bitch asses, not a single one of you would take this train. Not a single one of you upper middle class motherfuckers would get on a train in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It on your life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, either that or you'd ride it once and say, "Yeah, we took the train,"
I did it.
you know, and then you're gonna Uber back. So I like, okay, so my eyeballs are on BreadTube again, so it's coming back alive because of this Kamala thing today.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm just waiting. It's only going to take about 10 minutes if they haven't already tweeted about it in the last 20 minutes. So for the Trump campaign to start just saying like, "Yeah, you want a San Francisco Democrat in charge of your country, don't you?" So that's the hive of trained people, Jeff.
No, that is the fucking like infested, just like kicking like scraps underneath the fridge, breeding ground of cockroaches.
Cockroaches.
It is.
Oh yeah, so I'm watching them, man. So talking to you, Chapo Trap House. See you.
I'm sorry. You still insist on calling them by their actual name?
No, I can't do it anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're always Trap House, Crap House.
Crap House.
As far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Fuck that. That's
They're just trained people.
Yeah. I'll never look into trains again. If anybody even says the solution is trains, you're done.
You ride trains for fun. So, like, there's this one that goes from, like, Toronto all the way to Vancouver that costs, like, thousands of dollars, but it's, like, 5-star dining the entire time.
That's fine.
And you've got linens, and you've got your own cabin. It's just, fuck, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have ones that I saw when I was still doing, like, transcript, and I would do it, like, all the travel shows.
Yeah.
Some of those looked awesome. Some of the European ones.
Oh, yeah.
Like gorgeous. Like, and you make stops in all the cool places. Yep. And, I could see into that.
You don't want to get to Phoenix on
But, okay, so again, if we had this system, like this Jetson system, where I would go to, the depot here, and I would ride this 250-mile-an-hour train to Denver, catch something that was going to, go to, I don't know,
Ogden.
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
Yeah,
Salt Lake.
yeah.
And then you take the crap train to Ogden, right?
Right.
But you still take the Super Bowl
Or Vegas, yeah.
magnet train.
The maglev.
Yeah. You take that to Salt Lake, and then take this other dinky, also moving coal train. I don't know, to Ogden. I got it. We don't live in that world.
No, we don't live in that world because we have these things called Boeing 737.
We do. Because those guys said, hey, you know what's better than moving crookedly on the ground? How about a straight line in the
fucking air?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we use the rotation of the Earth to your advantage.
That's science.
That's
guys.
science, baby.
That's science. Yeah.
Science the hell out of this.
God, fucking Europeans, man. It's
a much smaller place, man.
Yeah.
So
it is. Yes. Yeah.
And remember, it was was very easy to build after 1945.
That's correct. You're absolutely right.
Starting over.
Starting over, yes. So
Same thing goes. It's easy to put in high-speed internet lines when you don't have any lines.
Right.
When they're the first lines you're putting in.
Yep.
When you have lines that are there that you have to then dig up and take out and then worry about keeping
You're
and not
losing
keeping.
internet at some point.
Correct.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Although I will say this is the last thing that I'll bring up here about the road trip. It is bizarre to me now, and you can pull up the data. The most comprehensive coverage in this country by far now is T-Mobile.
oh,
It was not the case 5 years ago when I worked for them. It was Verizon by a country mile.
It
But
still sucks in the Denver Convention Center.
I'm not going to say it doesn't. But what I will tell you is when I was listening to music between here and Portland, which covers a lot of boring-ass Wyoming,
yeah.
I was surprised how often I was connected all the way through with internet service, right? I was shocked.
And yet my home sucks.
Right. And in order to make it work for you, I would have to go ahead and take out the unit and put it in your chimney and drag the wire down. I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. But yeah, that was not the truth.
No, definitely
Back
not
then.
Wyoming back then. It was gone.
And I'm glad it worked in Mom's basement. Because there's no
yeah.
Wi-Fi there.
Yeah, the kids would.
How did your
have
kids
been happy.
play on the computer? Did they just hotspot there? Yeah.
So thumbs up on T-Mobile.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Way down. 2 thumbs down for Frontier.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
That's
All right. So,
that's done.
And 6 thumbs down for any kind of train travel.
Scam track.
Yeah.
I was looking for 'em, man.
Called Scam track for years, and there's a reason for it. So anyway, I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm hitting the button.
Trains are fucking bullshit.
Shit trains.